That's the one superpower I think I actually have. I can tell when it's working and I can tell when it's not.
I had the opportunity to watch the documentary Stolen Kingdom last night. A great, great documentary. I just never even knew about that underground Disney culture of going backstage and stealing items, and it was just like I was riveted. I was riveted the whole way through. Can you take me to the process of just being invited to do the score, and then your approach to the movie with the subject matter?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot about the film that resonated with me as well. Mostly because it felt like a bunch of young skater dudes. You know, and that vibe, the vibe was very familiar to me.
Yeah.
And just going out and kind of getting into trouble. And I think that Josh and I, even though we're generationally different, I think we have a lot in common. We kind of come from the same punk rock backgrounds, indie backgrounds, and filmmaking backgrounds. You know, I've made a lot of films myself, and mostly the reason I make films is because I'm interested in the subject, that I'm part of the film. You know, there are bands I love. There's scenes that I love, and I'm just really trying to document that stuff. And I think that Josh comes from it from a very similar place where he's just really, those are his people, you know, and he's following his instincts and going out there. And because he knew that story and wanted to share that story, he made a film about it. And those are the best kind of films. I think we were connected through my friend Jeff Tremaine, who from Jackass, and I've done a lot of work with them. And so I think that that's initially how we were introduced to each other, because we got along so well and because I found the subject matter so interesting that he just decided to hire me to make a score. I really love the film. I love the way they put it together. It resonated with me in a lot of ways. It has this really interesting trajectory of like people getting into it for love and for interest in Disney and these rides that are going away, and like the sense of history. And then they're posting videos and other people pick up on it and go, oh, this is interesting. I can go in there and really, and they get more naughty about it. And then they
Yeah.
eventually start stealing shit. And then, you know, I don't want to spoil the movie, but it's
Yeah.
like, but it is a trajectory of like commerce getting involved and things like that. So, and ruining an otherwise good thing. So I recognized all that.
Knowing that I was going to interview you, I was trying to keep a close ear to the score, and the way it is, you almost added like a sense of suspense, a little bit like almost like it was a caper film. I wanted to ask you about that approach to the movie.
Basically, when you sign on to a movie, it's just like a super collaborative process, and you're really serving the director and them. I mean, you have to come up with ideas for sure, and you have to say, oh well, this, I think this needs this and this needs this, but chances are the director's already, 1,500 miles past that in terms of thinking about each sequence. So basically, they might not necessarily know what the sound is that they're looking for, the music that they're looking for, but they're definitely know the arc of their story, and they know where the tension is supposed to be built into it. And oftentimes they'll have like, some temp music in there occasionally here and there to kind of get your brain going in the right direction. So yeah, it's a whole process. I mean, it's something I've done a ton of in over the last 15 years. After Fugazi, I was having all these kids. I have four kids, and I was like not into touring for a while. And so that's what I did. I basically just started scoring documentaries for people, and I did like series on National Geographic. This like prison series, this series Hard Time. I've done a few 30 for 30s for Jeff Tremaine and those guys. I've done a couple political spots and commercials. Like I still do them. I still do all that stuff. And I just scored a movie for Glenn Friedman, the photographer, called Fuck You Heroes. That's amazing. And I tour a lot right now with my band, The Mesthetics, and James Randall Lewis, and we just got off of a few months of the road. So I'm mixing a lot of things, mixing some stuff for Ian Svenonius and a band called Censor Ghost. I'm making a record with them right now from DC. So it's just I stay busy every day,
I wanted to ask you, like, what are the main differences between working on a film and TV score as opposed to recording an album with a band?
There's not like when you're recording an album with a band, you have to serve the ultimately like the live experience, and you have to serve yourself. It has to be kind of bulletproof in terms of like something you might want to play every night for the next 10 years of your life. It's more about writing something that has dynamics that can be fluid and that can be changed. Especially now in the aesthetics, you want to write stuff that actually has legs enough for people to like improvise, because we do a lot of improvisation and things that people can actually respond to and improvise to, and that can grow on the road. It's a very different process. Like making soundtracks is like you're in a room with the video and throwing stuff at the video, and you're always watching the video, right? You're just like, is this actually making me feel something? Like it's fine to put whatever music over something and have it be propulsive or whatever, but then there's the sub layer of the subtext of like every piece of film is what you're going for. You're kind of giving voice to the subtext of the film. So you basically like you're sort of looking for that third voice, right? There's a written dialogue and the visuals. You're looking for the thing that actually ties the things together, and maybe is the sound of the unsaid thing in the scene, right? Or just maybe lending gravity or having people pay attention to the thing that is said. That is to say that you're collaborating with the director, even though the director's not in the room when you're doing it usually, but you're literally like putting things and you really know that's the one superpower I think I actually have, which is like you actually like I can tell when it's working and I can tell when it's not. Basically, like you know what I mean. Like even on like a commercial or something like that, I'll do something. I'll be, oh, that's really cool, but it's not really, this other level. It's not getting to the level of divorced of me, divorced of it's like it's living on the screen. That's something that takes a little bit of time to figure out, to get that intuition down. It takes a lot of time and a lot of back and forth with directors over the years. Anyways, Josh was, he's great to work with in that regard for sure.
Cool. And I wanted to ask you if there are any film composers or individual movie scores that particularly have resonated with you, inspired you through the years.
That's a good question. I've never been asked that before. Growing up, I loved all the Bernard Herrmann stuff. Basically, he was kind of my dude. He did Psycho, he did Taxi Driver, he did a lot of Hitchcock. Just amazingly, jagged strings, just really always tasteful, like and dramatic, and then I think his last score was "It's Alive." You ever seen "It's Alive"?
No,
Where
no,
the baby is born out and immediately eats everybody in the
I have
delivery
not seen
room
that
and
one. I've
goes,
ever heard of
oh,
it.
that's a fantastic movie. Yeah, I think it's like there's only one thing wrong with the Joneses baby. It's alive.
Oh my
That was
God.
the tagline. Yeah, you got to see it. You got to see it. The commercial for it growing up used to scare the shit out of me. It was just a baby crib with a claw coming out of the side. But the movie is absurd and great, and his score is fantastic. I don't know, I kind of grew up like kind of being into like a lot of the atmospheric stuff, like Mobius and Brian Eno and things like that, and all of that more textural, uh, synthy based stuff. But so I love all that stuff, but I also still. I mean, it's gonna sound so lame. I just like I tend to listen to a lot of classical music and textural music, and like a lot of Arvo Pärt and a lot of Mahler and things like that. And Messiaen and things. So it's more of the classical pieces that are the what influenced me, and a lot of piano music. I play a lot of piano around the house for sure. The soundtrack part of my life is probably maybe the most boring part of my life, but I do it all the time, and I really love it. I really do love it. So
I interviewed Trent Reznor a couple of years ago about his and Atticus Ross about their scoring, and they both named Bernard Herrmann as their chief influence as well. So it's actually when as soon as you said that, my mind went to that interview as well. So it's kind of cool that these here are kind of similar two rock guys, you and Trent, who got into composing, and you both kind of cited a very similar influence.
Yeah, I mean, he's the kind of king of them all. I mean, for a lot of people, I mean, there is a sort of punk rock vibe where you're like you have all the powers that be. You have this orchestra, right? When anybody who can control the orchestra and write towards an orchestra and make it do such fucked up shit. You know what I mean? And like it's not just about mood, but it's also like just pushing the form itself, with and having discordant strings and all these things. I mean, that's the aspirational thing is, I would ultimately love to be that person.